everyone, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for a Confessions of a Paper Addict design team layout. So for this layout, we are celebrating Christmas in July over on our channel. So I am going to be making a little Christmas layout using two Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files. So I've just pulled out my darkroom door grunge stencil, my black Mementos ink, and my little cosmetic brush from Kmart that Virginia actually tipped us off about, and just smushing that in. This is the XXXXX part of the grunge paper, and it's super cute. And I'm using a Vicky Bouton's foundation page. I did not like how I just went over the edge of my stencil, so I'm actually just I'm blanking off the parts of the stencil I don't want to use with post-it notes because they're sticky. You can absolutely use washi tape, but my post-it notes live in my desk and my washi tape lives all the way over on my Kallax, and I am lazy. So you can see there how smooth and easily this just all brushes in together. I've never ever done this before with those brushes or with this stencil or anything like that, and it was so good. So I'm definitely going to be doing this again. Next, I decided that wasn't enough, so next I am moving to a different part of the stencil, and it's going to be, they're almost like O's or ovals, so it's kind of like kisses and hugs all over my page, but in lines of X's and lines of O's. And I'm just going to put the O's above or below the X's there, and it's going to look really cute, says I. So I'm just putting all those on, and as I said, sometimes I'm rubbing so it's darker in places and letting it be lighter in others. I really like the look of having it dark in on top of the paint and getting light as it moves further out. I think that looks really cool. I just wanted a little bit of something else on the back of this Vicky Bouton page. I was thinking about adding some more paint myself to make it a little bit more Christmassy, maybe a bit of green, but I really loved the gradient of the colors that is already there. So I just decided I'd add a little bit of black because I am using a few black embellishments. So now I've got my gold Heidi Swap color shine, and I'm just sort of flicking it. It looks like I'm flicking it everywhere, but I'm trying to center these flicks along those lines as well, just again to highlight the area that I've done my mixed media. Then I'm almost at the end, so I'm finding this of my Heidi Swap color shine, so I'm finding it really hard to get my color out, but it's all good. It's all good. So once I've gone in with the gold, I'm then going to come along and do the exact same thing with black. And I know that black is quite a dark color, and yeah, it's an interesting choice by me to do black, but I have a fair few black ephemera that I want to use on this page from the collection that I'm using, so I'm thinking black is actually a good choice. So as you can see, I've got the Flamingo cut file from the new July release. I did add one of Virginia's Santa hats from her Christmas release. I already had it's from the 25 December release that she made. I cut the Santa hat off it and copied it over and stuck him on top of the flamingo. So a little bit of copying and pasting there from one of Virginia's other cut files, but I really liked the shape of her Santa hat, and I wanted to include that on top of the flamingo instead of the little flower. So I'm just popping that on there. If you can see, it's a little bit hard to notice, but you might be able to see that the wing of the flamingo is sparkly. It is the exact same paper as the flamingo's legs, but I colored in the wing with Wink of Stella, which just the clear one, or the silver Wink of Stella, which I think was a really nice little effect, giving it that little pop of sparkle just to give the cut file something a little bit different. I thought I was super clever, and I put foam on the back of my cutfile off camera ahead of time, and then realized that some parts of my cutfile I'm actually going to be layering on top of my photo, and therefore I don't need foam on them. So I'm now going through and pulling off the bits of foam that I don't need and sticking them to a plastic container that I have on my window ledge so that I can use them again at another stage. Silly me. So once I've worked all that out, then I can stick down this floral cut file. And this is the Floral Clusters 3 cut file. I'm not 100% sure when this one was released, I apologise, but not now. It is not from the July release. It is one of the older ones that you will find in the shop. I just really loved the flowers in this one, the shape of this one. I've actually used it twice recently. I think you'll see it again tomorrow. Oh dear. It's just really cute. So popping all that down. So now that I've got my sort of base all laid out, I've got my title on. I did sneak that on when you weren't looking. And I've got my photos on and I've got my 2 cut files on. It's time to do all that extra prettiness that we love to play with. So I am getting a little bit of gold thread that I'm going to use as a base for my cluster, and I want to make sure this looks Christmassy. So I know I've obviously got the Santa hat on my flamingo, but I'm also going to put some Christmas lights on as well. So I've stuck those Christmas lights down along the bottom, going off the page on the bottom, and I will trim that off, the bit that's hanging over the edge of the page eventually. I keep forgetting. And this string is really hard to use, this thread. It's not really thread, it's almost like wire. It's so, but it's not bendy. Like it doesn't, if you bend it in half, it doesn't stay in position. So it's really hard to use. It just wants to fling back to its normal spiel. So I'm trying to just wrap this up as best I can and stick it to some thread, to some double-sided tape to keep the thread all together. And then I'm going to sneak it underneath my photo and the base of this cluster, just as a little bit of gold pop out from there. And then I'm going to layer up some leaves, some foliage. They're sort of Christmas trees and some are not quite Christmas trees. It's just a little bit of everything. So that piece is more like a sprig and it's black. So hence why I wanted a little bit of black happening. There's a little green tree. And then this is a black Christmas tree. So again, I really wanted to tie in the black because of how dark the photo of my partner is. These photos are from 2014, so not a lot I could do to enhance the photo. I could have scanned it and done all that, but couldn't be bothered. So because it had the darker aspect with my husband being in shadow, I decided I would embrace it and put some darker colours on as well. So then I'm going to do my next cluster. I'm not 100% sure where it's going to go. It could go to the left of the flamingo's head up near the Santa hat, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to put it in between the photos near the in the city part, which is a weird part for me to put it, but there's also a little bit of a gap up there that I'm not sure I like. And I think the blank space next to the flamingo looks okay, but I don't know. I don't know why I chose to put it there. I just did and didn't think twice about it, just kept going. So I figure it must mean it was meant to be. Sorry, little mouthful of my cup of tea there. Seeing as I am a chronic overthinker, if I didn't overthink this one, must mean it was perfect. What can I say? So I've just got some foam. No, I haven't. I've just got some more of that gold thread and I've popped that around. Then the same black foliage, I want to try and mirror the layers if I can so it looks purposeful. And this same little green tree. And then after that, then's when I sort of get a bit more creative and change it up a bit. Move those stickers so you can definitely still read the title. I decided to put this little gold star up there. Gold. Oh my goodness. Where are my words? Black and white star up there. It is not gold at all. But it was looking really flat. And sorry, I'm talking about what would be a logical way to create this layout, but now I've jumped and started putting down the other Christmas lights. And I think that's why I didn't put the cluster up there. I think in my brain I knew I wanted to put Christmas lights going all the way across. So that worked well. But yes, the star was looking a little bit flat, so I have another star exactly the same. So I cut the same little bow off and I'm just popping it up on foam just to give it a little bit of pop when you look at it in real life. I know from above right now it doesn't look any different, but in real life it does. Then I'm putting on a few diamantes in black and gold because we love those. And I'm super happy with the way this is looking. My little double cut file layout. I feel like I've got a lot on. I've got 2 cut files. I've got 2 photos. I've got my 2 clusters. I've got a 4-word title. Like, there's quite a bit happening in this layout, but yet it doesn't look super busy. Like, I think it totally works. So I'm super happy with this one, guys. I love these 2 cut files together. I think they match really, really well. And I'm really excited with my Christmassy layout, and I hope you are looking forward to seeing some more Christmas in July layouts coming from us all this month. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check the description box for links to the Etsy shop, to these cut files, and also to the awesome Facebook group. Bye everyone.